Hi, I'm Steve Thomas. This is Cacophony. Let's dive into some great music. But first, a warning. This episode's music contains country dancing. Spent a large part of the last weekend playing Czech music with the excellent rehearsal orchestra in London. Much fun it was too. And I played for the first time this terrific Rustic Suite by Vítěslava Kaprálová. There are great composers who died young, but, if you like, with a decent body of work behind them. George Gershwin, Mozart, Schubert. But there are a handful of others who died even earlier, when they were just getting going. Lily Boulanger, Gustav Mahler's roommate Hans Rott, and Kaprálová. To paraphrase Mahler, what music has lost cannot be estimated. He was talking about Rott, but it applies just as well to the others. But it's not really as if Vítěslava Kaprálová was just getting going. Though she died aged only 25 from a sudden illness, she'd completed over 50 pieces for a wide variety of different instruments and combinations, and she was pretty successful. She'd also conducted not only the Czech Philharmonic Orchestra in her home country, but at the Major Concert Hall in Paris, and in London, the new BBC Orchestra, in a concert that was broadcast not just in the UK, but also across the United States. The Suite Rustica was written when she was 23, in late 1938. It had been commissioned by a publisher in London on that trip, but it took a letter from them reminding her of the deadline to get her to work on it. And then she was done in just 2 or 3 weeks. We don't need to think of this as an early piece or student work. Kaprálová was the real deal, and her skills and talent were already well developed. It's in 3 short sections, and as requested by the London publisher, it uses Czech and Slovak folk songs. Czech music's always gone down well in London, and at least one of Antonín Dvořák's symphonies was commissioned for London audiences. Each movement contains a contrasting central section. The fast music is energetic and upbeat, at least after the very serious-sounding opening. The slower sections slightly sad and wistful. But all of it's memorable, hummable, and it's curious and strange that the publisher, once this had been delivered, then didn't bother publishing it. I'm sure it would have been popular. In the second movement, a beautiful slow song, "I Had a Little Pigeon Hidden in My Wooden Trunk," gets interrupted by a furiant, a favourite Czech dance that almost falls over itself in its exuberance. This one uses the tune "Farmer, Farmer, Farmer," which had already been made famous orchestrally by Bedřich Smetana, the daddy of Czech composers. This furiant too has a central contrasting section, and then the pigeon song returns, so we get a kind of 5-part sandwich. Pigeon, furiant, its middle, furiant, pigeon. Now I know this is a song about a pigeon. I can hear them cooing musically in the background. In the final movement, we really hear how she was influenced by Igor Stravinsky, and in particular Petrushka, which was on Cacophony a couple of episodes ago. It's spiky, jaunty, much of it in a, still unusual in Western music, 5 in a bar feel, actually bars of 2 and then 3. It's got reminiscences of the earlier movements thrown in, and a fugue, perhaps the only hint in this work of having something to prove somehow. Kaprálová was described as charismatic, ambitious, and full of life. I think that charisma and sense of fun comes through in this piece. There's no doubt that it should be widely heard and played. It's music that leaves you with a big smile. Can't help but wonder what she'd have gone on to achieve as conductor and composer had she lived a long life. So let's have a listen. Click on the links in the show notes, and then when you've heard it, tell me what you think. You can leave a voice message or a comment at cacophonyonline.com. It's great, right? So you must know someone else who'd enjoy it. Who are they? Please share the podcast directly with them, and also put it on all your social media channels. If you'd like to support Cacophony financially, you can. There's a link to our page at ko-fi.com where you can make a one-off or regular contribution. Anything would be very gratefully received. Come back for more next time, and thanks for listening.